This video will describe how to make the raised surface map for the Level 1 Catechesis of the Good Shepherd Atrium. First, you will need several materials, including a base of a small whiteboard or wooden structure, newspaper, painter's tape, straws, rigid wrap or any type of sheet plaster, paint in shades of both dark and light green, brown and blue, polyurethane, optional white paint, Sculpey, and wooden sticks. First, start out by finding a flat, sturdy surface on which to build the raised surface map. Our example was a wooden panel onto which we added a raised outer border, but any flat surface with a raised edge works, such as a small whiteboard. The base should be around 2 feet to 3 feet wide and 3 feet to 4 feet tall, or any variation of these sizes while not too big or too small. Next, add legs to the base to make it stand like a table, and if it does not have a raised edge, attach wooden pieces to create the edge. Third, sand down the surfaces to make it easier to work on and to make the wood soft for the hands of the children. Once the base is ready, draw out the shape of Israel according to the outlines provided. After the shape is drawn, build a structure for the mountains with crumpled newspaper and painter's tape or masking tape. Build the mountains so that the high points are closer to the center of the land masses and so that there are beach-level portions near the Mediterranean Sea. When building, be sure to include 3 straws in the positions of Nazareth, Jerusalem, and Bethlehem to make room for the markers shown later in this video. Once you are satisfied with the shape and height of the mountains and flatlands, follow the instructions on the rigid wrap and use it to cover the newspaper and tape base. If you do not have rigid wrap, paper mache is an alternative. It will be necessary to do multiple layers in some places to ensure that the newspaper is completely covered in order to create a base for the paint, but be sure to leave the holes with the straws uncovered. Once the wrap is dry, it is time to paint. Begin by layering several shades of green along the tops and sides of the mountains. You can also use brown to create accents of more dirt tones. To create a natural effect, it is easier to use a sponge brush or several sponge brushes in order to create an effect of trees and dirt along the sides of the mountains and the beach. Mixing together different browns and greens can create hues with which to paint the mountains and the plains. The blue paint is used to fill in the Mediterranean Sea, the Dead Sea, and any other body of water found within the Jordan Valley. Once you are comfortable with the colors of the mountains and the valleys and all of the water features, cover the surface of the map with polyurethane in order to make the paint solid and not chip off. Once the raised surface portion of the map is completely covered in polyurethane, it is optional to paint a white or other colored border around the edges and legs of the map. Once the geographical portion of the map is complete, it is important to create 3 markers to demarcate the 3 very important cities in Jesus' life. First, the city of Nazareth, then Bethlehem, then Jerusalem, represented through a dove, a star, and a cross. To make these markers, use the Sculpey in the colors yellow for the shooting star, brown for the cross, and white for the dove, and sculpt them into their required shapes. Once you're finished sculpting, place the wooden stick inside of the bottom of the shape before placing it into the oven. Next, cook it according to the instructions on the packaging. Once these shapes are finished, place them in the appropriate straw placeholders you had created earlier within the process. And with that, the raised surface map is complete.